All right, so are you ready to really, get into this deep dive on Rosé the singer?
Oh, absolutely. I think she's fascinating.
So you guys sent us her Wikipedia page,
Yep.
and we're going to kind of, unpack it all and find the coolest things about her story.
I think we can definitely do that.
All right, so first of all, I mean, she's got this super interesting multicultural background.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So Rosé, or Roseanne Park, she's a New Zealand and South Korean singer.
Right, and she was born in New Zealand, but, raised in Australia,
Yep,
and then hits it big in South Korea.
that's right, yeah. A very global story.
Right, exactly. So her parents were South Korean immigrants, and when she was 7, they moved to Melbourne, Australia.
Wow. Yeah, I can only imagine the blend of cultures that she was exposed to.
I know, even from a young age.
Yeah,
And she was surrounded by music way before K-pop even came into the picture.
that's right. Singing in church choirs, learning guitar, piano,
Yeah.
all those early experiences really shaped her journey.
Yeah, it's like those classic superhero origin stories. Totally. They discover their powers before they even know their destiny.
Exactly.
So speaking of destiny, when she was 15, she went to this YG Entertainment audition in Sydney at her dad's suggestion.
That's right. Huge K-pop agency.
They're like the Hollywood studio of K-pop, right?
Yeah. I mean, they scout, they train very rigorously, and then they launch these really meticulously crafted idol groups.
Wow, so that audition was a pretty big deal.
Oh, totally. And get this, she thought it was a joke at first.
I mean, I kind of get it.
Yeah. This 15-year-old girl from Australia suddenly going to South Korea to become a K-pop star.
Sounds like a movie.
I know, right? But she went for it.
Wow.
Ended up placing first out of 700 participants.
700 people. That's insane.
I know.
So just 2 months later, she's like a trainee in Seoul, starting this whole new chapter of her life.
That's right. It's a huge commitment to become a K-pop trainee.
I bet, yeah.
They're living together, training for hours every day, super competitive.
It sounds so grueling, but I kind of think it would be exciting.
Right. Like a musical boot camp.
Yeah, totally. But okay, wait. Before she even debuts with Blackpink, there's this little twist in the story.
Oh, I love a good twist.
Tell me, what happened?
Okay, so back in 2012, before anyone even knew her name, she's featured on G-Dragon's song, Without You.
G-Dragon, like the king of K-pop.
The king, a legend.
Wow. So she's singing with an icon before she even officially debuts.
Yeah. And the song was a hit too, reaching number 10 on the Gaon music chart. That's South Korea's main music chart.
Wow. Imagine, I mean, did anyone even know it was her at the time?
Total secret. It wasn't until much later that people realized the voice on that track was Rosé.
So it's like this hidden gem in her musical history.
Yeah, a little Easter egg.
I like it. So after 4 years of training, she finally debuts with Blackpink in 2016.
And the rest is history. Blackpink explodes, breaks records, massive global following.
I mean, they become a phenomenon.
Totally.
And her unique voice was like a big part of that.
Absolutely. Vogue called it an electric soprano.
And fans call her the golden voice. What is it about her voice that's so captivating?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. There's this husky, emotional quality that adds a rawness to like Blackpink's super polished pop sound.
It's so distinctive, you instantly know it's her.
Totally.
So she's already killing it with Blackpink. But then in 2021, she makes her solo debut.
That's right.
And she drops the single album R, which breaks the record for first week sales by a Korean female soloist.
Yeah, she did.
Like a power move, right?
Totally.
Like, I'm here, world, get ready.
Totally. And then her lead single, On the Ground, is where things get really interesting.
What happened with On the Ground?
Well, it topped Billboard's Global 200 chart, making her the first artist ever to reach #1 both solo and as part of a group.
Oh my gosh, that's huge.
It's huge, and it cemented her status as like a global superstar in her own right.
Wow.
Plus, the music video for On the Ground broke records for the most views in 24 hours by a Korean soloist.
Okay, so clearly her music is resonating with people all over the world.
Oh, for sure.
So we've got this record-breaking solo debut, but her success doesn't stop there.
Not even close. In 2022, she's featured on Blackpink's album, Born Pink,
Yeah.
adding her unique flair to their sound.
Yeah. And then comes 2023 and a major career move.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me.
She switches to the Black Label, which is a subsidiary of YG Entertainment, and signs with Atlantic Records. Huge American label.
So she's expanding her global reach even further.
Oh, absolutely. And it opens the door for some major collaborations.
Like her 2024 collab with Bruno Mars on Apt.
Oh, Apt. Massive.
What happened with that one?
#1 on global charts, and the first song by a Korean female soloist to top the Australian ARIA singles chart. Her home turf.
That's amazing. Talk about breaking down barriers.
Totally.
Okay, so not only is she topping the charts globally, but she's making a real impact on the American music scene, too.
Which is remarkable.
Yeah, it is, for K-pop artists especially. And then in December 2024, she releases her debut studio album, Rosie.
Rosie. And this is where the story reaches new heights. Rosie debuts at #3 on the Billboard 200, the highest position ever for a K-pop female soloist.
No.
And it reached #4 on the UK albums chart. Another incredible achievement.
Wow, she's setting a new standard for K-pop artists on the global stage.
Oh, absolutely. She's gone from church choirs to topping the Billboard charts. Just a true testament to her talent and hard work.
What a journey. But her influence goes beyond music, right?
Oh, for sure. She's a major fashion icon.
And not just any fashion icon. She became a global ambassador for Yves Saint Laurent in 2020, the first in 59 years.
That's right. That is a huge honor, especially for someone so young.
And then in 2021, she makes history as one of the first female K-pop idols to attend the Met Gala.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Attending the Met Gala is huge for anyone, but for a K-pop idol, it's a real breakthrough into high fashion.
Like they've invited you to sit at the cool kids' table.
Exactly. And, it shows how her influence isn't just music anymore, it's reaching these other cultural spaces.
Plus, she's a global ambassador for Tiffany & Co. and Rimowa. And then in 2024, she gets announced as a global ambassador for Puma.
So clearly brands are seeing her global appeal and influence, especially with younger generations.
It's amazing how she balances this incredible music career with these major fashion partnerships.
Yeah, I know, right? It speaks to her work ethic and her ability to connect with people on multiple levels. She's not just a singer, she's like a brand in herself.
Right, totally. And on top of all that, she's using her platform for something bigger than herself. She's a voice for some really important causes.
Oh, absolutely.
Like what?
Well, she's spoken out, supporting relief efforts during the Australian bushfires, and she spoke at a mental health awareness event hosted by Jill Biden.
Wow, so she's using her platform to raise awareness for such important issues? That's true leadership.
Totally, totally. And it's earned her recognition beyond the music industry. Like in 2024, she was appointed a member of the Order of the British Empire.
An MBE?
Yeah, for her services to the UK COP26 presidency and advocacy for the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference.
That's incredible. It shows how seriously her advocacy work is being taken.
Absolutely. So it's clear that, Rosé's impact, it goes way beyond music and fashion. She's a role model. She's showing what's possible when you combine talent, hard work, and a passion for making a difference.
I mean, it's inspiring to see how she's navigated multiple cultures and industries, constantly pushing boundaries and challenging expectations.
Oh, for sure. And what I think is so fascinating is how she manages to balance all this global stardom with, her personal life. Remember, she wasn't born or raised in South Korea.
Right. She moved to Seoul at 16 to train with YG.
Exactly. So, she wasn't initially immersed in Korean culture the way that many other K-pop idols are. So think about the adjustments she had to make.
I know, personally and professionally, that couldn't have been easy.
I know.
So how has she navigated that and become such a prominent figure in Korean pop culture?
Well, she's talked about the challenges of adapting to a new culture and language, but she's embraced it.
Yeah.
She's used those experiences to grow as an artist. It's all about finding that balance, respecting the culture, but still bringing your own unique perspective.
And she's won over the Korean public too, right? I mean, she's super popular there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Considered one of the most talented and beloved K-pop idols.
So it's amazing how she's bridged those cultural gaps and become this beloved figure, not just in South Korea, but globally.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we talked about her global impact, but I'm kind of curious to know a little more about her musical influences.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, she cited Taeyang from Big Bang as a role model, who's also a YG entertainment artist.
Oh, so there's that connection to the YG sound.
Yeah, you can hear some of that influence in her music.
Yeah.
Strong vocals, the, edgy pop sound.
Yeah, definitely. But then she's also mentioned Tori Kelly as an inspiration.
Yes.
And that's interesting. Tori Kelly comes from like a more R&B and soul background.
Yeah.
So you have these different influences, blending together K-pop, R&B, soul.
It's a really unique mix.
And it creates this like really unique dynamic sound.
Totally.
That's probably why her voice stands out so much. It's not like the typical pop sound you hear all the time.
Exactly. And that uniqueness extends to her fashion sense as well.
Oh, absolutely. For her, it's not just about wearing designer clothes. You can tell she has like a genuine passion for fashion.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it in the way that she puts outfits together, the way she talks about designers and their work.
Yeah.
It's like she's not just following trends, she's creating her own.
Absolutely.
Right. And that authenticity is probably what makes her so compelling.
It is. Talented, stylish, uses her platform for good.
Winning combo.
Definitely.
And she's a role model for so many young people around the world because of that.
Yeah, for sure.
But her journey hasn't been without its challenges, has it?
No, definitely not. Like, she moved to South Korea at such a young age.
Yeah.
And she had to adapt to a new culture.
Right.
Deal with the intense pressure of being a K-pop idol.
I mean, imagine those long hours, the scrutiny from the media and the public.
Yeah.
It's not an easy industry to be in.
It's not. Especially, juggling her solo activities with her group commitments with Blackpink.
Right, yeah. But she's talked about these challenges, right?
Yeah, totally openly.
Yeah.
And talks about, the importance of mental health and finding ways to cope with the pressures of fame.
And that vulnerability is probably what makes her so relatable to her fans.
For sure. They see that she's human. She struggles too.
Yeah.
And that makes her even more admirable.
It's so refreshing to see someone in the spotlight who's not afraid to be real.
Yeah, totally.
So I think she's basically saying it's okay not to be perfect, to have doubts, to make mistakes. What matters is that you keep going and stay true to yourself.
And that is a powerful message, especially in today's world.
It is, yeah. So we've talked about her music, her fashion, her advocacy, and her personal journey. But what really stands out to me is her voice.
Yeah, that golden voice.
It is golden. It's that raspy, almost breathy quality that gives it so much texture. And you don't hear that very often in pop music, especially K-pop.
It's true. And she has incredible control and technique. She can hit those high notes with power and precision, but she can also be incredibly delicate and nuanced.
Yeah, it's like she's telling a story with her voice.
Oh, totally.
Conveying a whole range of emotions.
Definitely.
And you can hear like an evolution in her sound over time, from her early work with Blackpink to her solo stuff and her recent collabs. Like, she's become more confident, more experimental.
Absolutely.
It's like she's really found her own voice, literally and figuratively.
Totally. And that's what makes her so exciting to listen to.
Yeah.
You never know what she's going to do next,
Right.
but it's going to be authentically Rosé.
That's a great way to put it. Now, we haven't really talked about this yet, but what about her relationship with her fans, the Blinks?
Oh, yeah. She's known for having a really close bond with them. She's always interacting with them on social media, sharing personal stories and giving them behind-the-scenes glimpses into her life.
And you can tell that she's so appreciative of their support.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just like for show.
No.
She genuinely cares about them.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is probably why they're so loyal to her.
Oh, for sure.
You feel like they have this personal connection with her.
Yeah. It's rare for a superstar at her level.
It really is. It's a testament to her authenticity and her ability to connect with people on like a human level.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's one thing I still want to touch on.
Okay, what's that?
The evolution of her music.
Yeah.
How she's grown as an artist over the years.
Yeah, for sure. If you compare her early work with Blackpink to her solo stuff, you can hear a real progression. It's like she's become more comfortable taking risks, experimenting with different sounds.
Right.
Absolutely. Her early work was very much in line with that classic YG sound.
Yeah.
Catchy pop hooks and strong vocals.
Yep.
But as she's gained more experience and creative freedom, she's started to incorporate more of her own personal influences into the music.
Like the R&B and soul we talked about earlier.
Exactly. And you can really hear that in songs like, On the Ground and Gone from her solo album R.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even more so in her collaboration with Bruno Mars on Apt.
Oh, yeah. Apt. Really pushed the boundaries of what people expect from a K-pop artist.
It's a testament to her willingness to step outside of her comfort zone.
Absolutely. And explored, new sonic territories.
I love it. So do you think she'll keep experimenting and evolving as an artist?
I have no doubt about it. She's clearly not content to rest on her laurels. She's always looking for ways to challenge herself and her audience.
That's what makes her such an exciting artist to follow.
Absolutely. You never know what she's going to do next.
Exactly. And I think that's part of her appeal. She keeps people guessing.
Keeps them on their toes.
Yeah. But no matter what direction she goes in, you know it's going to be authentically Rosé.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we haven't really talked about this yet, but what about her advocacy work?
Yeah.
It seems like that's becoming a bigger part of her platform.
It is. She's been very vocal about using her platform to raise awareness for important causes. And she's not afraid to tackle tough topics, like climate change and mental health.
I mean, those are issues that are especially important to young people.
Really?
And it's not like she's just paying lip service to it.
No, she's actively involved.
She's actively involved in these movements.
Yeah.
Exactly. So she's using her influence to inspire others to get involved and make a difference.
Yeah. And she does it with such grace and humility, you know?
Yeah.
It's not about being preachy or self-righteous. It's about using her platform to amplify these important voices.
Right. Exactly. And that's leading by example. It's absolutely showing that even small actions can have a big impact.
Totally.
It's really inspiring to see someone so young and successful using their platform for good.
It is.
It's an exciting time to be a Rosé fan.
Oh, absolutely. It is. It is.
And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to talk even more about Rosé.
Sounds good.
Hmm.
It really is incredible to think about how far she's come from those early days in Melbourne.
It is. And I think what's so fascinating is how she's seamlessly blended these different worlds, like
Yeah.
her Australian upbringing,
Yeah.
the intensity of K-pop,
Yeah.
and now this like global stardom.
Right. She's like this cultural bridge
Sure.
connecting these different parts of the world through her music, her personality.
And she makes it look so easy.
Totally. And I think that's a big part of her appeal too, is that
Yeah.
people are drawn to her, her genuine spirit, her ability to just be herself, no matter where she is, who she's with.
Speaking of being herself, we have to talk about her fashion sense. Oh, absolutely.
She's become like a style icon,
Yeah, totally. And it's not just, the designer clothes or the high-profile collabs.
Right. Right.
It's deeper than that.
It's like she just gets it,
She does.
This like innate understanding of fashion
Yeah.
and puts together looks that are stylish and unique.
Totally. It's like she's not just wearing the clothes, she's expressing herself through them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a form of art.
It is.
It's a way of communicating who she is with the world.
And she's not afraid to take risks, push boundaries, try new things.
Totally.
Remember that incredible Saint Laurent gown she wore to the Met Gala?
Oh, iconic.
Oh my gosh.
That was a statement piece.
It was.
Yeah.
And it perfectly captured, I think, her blend of edginess and elegance.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
She's not afraid to be both feminine and powerful.
And I think that resonates with a lot of people, especially young women
Yeah.
who are trying to find their own sense of style, their own identity.
Yeah,
It's like she's saying, you can be whoever you want to be, wear whatever you want to wear,
Yeah.
and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
And she does it with such confidence
Totally.
and grace. It's inspiring to watch.
It is. It is. I want to go back to her music for a second.
Yeah.
Because we touched on her influences a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, like, how do you see those influences showing up in her sound?
Well, like we mentioned, she cites Taeyang from Big Bang as a role model.
Yep.
He's known for his powerful vocals, his dynamic stage presence, and you can definitely hear echoes of his style in her music.
Especially in her earlier work with Blackpink, there's that, that signature YG sound,
Sure.
those strong, edgy pop melodies.
Yeah, sure.
Right, but then you have Tori Kelly, who's, more in the R&B soul world.
Yeah, and I think you hear that influence in her solo work, especially in the more, introspective, emotionally driven songs.
Absolutely.
It's so cool how she blends these seemingly like different influences and creates something that feels, both familiar and fresh.
Yeah, I think it speaks to her versatility as an artist.
Yeah.
Her ability to pull inspiration from all these different sources and create something that is really uniquely her own.
And I think that's why her music appeals to such a wide range of listeners.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like there's something for everyone in her sound.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although-
Whether you're, a diehard K-pop fan, an R&B enthusiast, or just someone who appreciates, good music, there's just something about her voice, her melodies, her lyrics that draws you in.
Yeah, it's like she has this ability to tap into these universal emotions,
Oh, for sure.
these feelings that we all experience,
Yeah,
regardless of our background or culture.
absolutely. And that's the power of music, right?
Yeah.
It transcends language, it transcends borders, and it connects us on this deeper level.
I want to shift gears just for a moment and talk about something that I find really remarkable about Rosé,
Okay.
which is her impact on the K-pop industry.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, she's broken down so many barriers and paved the way for other artists, especially, female artists.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
She's one of the few female K-pop idols who's been able to have a successful solo career
Right.
while still being an active member of her group.
Yeah, and that's not an easy feat in the K-pop world.
No.
It's a very demanding industry with intense pressure to, conform to certain standards, certain expectations.
And it's even more challenging, I think, for female artists
Yeah.
who often face, additional scrutiny, additional limitations.
Oh, absolutely. But Rosé has managed to navigate all those challenges
She has.
with grace, with determination,
Yeah.
and she's come out on top,
Yeah.
And in doing so, I think she's really shown other young women that it's possible to break the mold,
Totally.
to pursue your dreams,
Yeah.
and to achieve success on your own terms.
She's a trailblazer.
Yeah.
A role model for a new generation.
Totally.
Now, we talked about her impact globally, but I'm kind of curious to know your thoughts on how she's perceived in South Korea specifically.
Oh, that's a great question.
Because remember, she wasn't born or raised there.
Right.
She moved to Seoul.
At a young age.
Yeah, at a young age to pursue her K-pop dreams.
Yes, for sure.
And so she wasn't initially immersed in Korean culture the way that many other idols are.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's interesting to consider how she's navigated that, how she's been embraced by the Korean public.
Well, I mean, she's incredibly popular in South Korea.
Yeah.
And considered to be, one of the most talented and beloved K-pop idols.
It's amazing to me how she's been able to connect with that audience.
Right, on such a deep level.
Yeah, on such a deep level, despite not having that, shared cultural background from childhood.
Yeah, I think it speaks to, her authenticity, her dedication to her craft.
Yeah.
And her willingness to learn and grow.
Yeah, she put in the work.
He did.
To understand the culture, to learn the language, to connect with people on a human level.
Absolutely.
And it shows the Korean public has embraced her,
Yeah.
as one of their own.
Totally. It's a beautiful example of how music can transcend these cultural boundaries and really bring people together.
Yeah, let's talk about something that's truly captivating about Rosé.
Okay.
Her voice.
Yeah.
What is it about her voice that makes it so unique, so mesmerizing?
The golden voice, as they call it. It really is one of a kind.
There's this husky, breathy quality to it that gives her singing this raw emotional edge.
Yeah.
It's like she's pouring her heart and soul into every note.
Oh, totally.
And yet she has this incredible control, this incredible technique.
Yeah.
She can hit those high notes with power and precision.
Yeah, for sure.
But then also be incredibly delicate.
Totally. A vocal chameleon.
Yes.
She can shift from these delicate, whispery tones to these powerful belting notes.
It's like she's telling a story with her voice,
Oh, yeah.
conveying this whole spectrum of emotions.
Absolutely. And that's what makes her so compelling to listen to.
Yeah.
You're not just hearing the music, you're feeling it deep down in your soul.
Yeah, it's that emotional connection
Yeah.
that really sets her apart.
It does, absolutely.
Now, I want to touch on something we haven't really talked about yet, which is Rosé's relationship with her fans, the Blinks.
Oh, yeah. She has this really special bond with them.
It really is it's almost like they have this unspoken understanding,
Yeah.
this mutual respect and admiration.
Absolutely. She's incredibly grateful for their support.
Yeah.
And she goes out of her way to connect with them, whether it's, through social media, through fan events,
Yeah.
or just these little moments of recognition during concerts.
Yeah, she seems so genuine, so appreciative.
She does.
She truly values their love and support.
And that's something that the Blanks pick up on.
Yeah.
That's why they're so fiercely loyal to her.
They are.
They feel like they're part of something special,
Yeah.
something bigger than just, a fandom.
It's like they're all in this together,
Yeah.
supporting her on this incredible journey.
Totally.
It's so beautiful to witness, the kind of connection between between an artist and their fans.
It really is.
It really is.
And it speaks to the power of music to bring people together, to create these lasting bonds.
Now, as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into Rosé's life and career,
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that she's an artist who's only just begun to make her mark on the world.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's incredibly talented. She's driven. She's passionate about her craft,
Yeah.
and she's using her platform to inspire others and make a positive impact on the world.
And she's a role model.
Yeah.
Showing us, what's possible when we follow our dreams.
Yeah.
Embrace our individuality and use our voices for good.
Absolutely. Her future is bright.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt that she'll continue to surprise and delight us for many years to come.
And on that note, I want to thank our listener for joining us on this deep dive into Rosé's world.
Yeah, we hope you've enjoyed learning more about this incredible artist.
Yeah.
And that you'll continue to follow her journey as she evolves and inspires. It's really been a journey, hasn't it? Going through Rosé's world.
It has, from church choirs in Australia to like global superstardom. It's incredible.
I know. What really gets me is how she's managed to keep that, that authenticity through it all.
Right. With all the fame and the success, she still comes across as like this down-to-earth person.
Totally. Like she hasn't let all the glitz and glamour change, who she is deep down.
Yeah.
That genuineness just shines through.
I think that's why people are so drawn to her.
Oh, for sure.
It's like she's not putting on an act. She's just like being herself.
Yeah.
And that's really refreshing to see, especially in an industry that, can feel kind of superficial sometimes.
Totally. In a world where, image is everything, it's inspiring to see someone who's not afraid to be a little vulnerable, show their true colors.
Yeah, and that vulnerability comes through in her music too, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, her songs often explore like self-discovery and doubt, resilience.
Totally. And those are topics that really resonate with her fans.
Yeah. It's like she's giving them permission to be themselves, to, embrace their imperfections, and that it's okay not to have all the answers.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful message to send, especially to young people who are, trying to figure out life and who they are.
It's a reminder that we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And it's okay to, stumble and fall along the way.
Totally.
Speaking of her fans, I want to go back to her relationship with the Blinks for a second.
Yeah.
It's really special.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell she really values their support, and she goes out of her way to show her appreciation.
It's not just about, posting on social media or like doing the occasional fan event. It's like these small gestures, these moments of connection that make them feel like seen.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like she takes the time to read their letters, respond to comments online,
Yeah.
or even just make like eye contact with them during a performance.
It's those little things that show that she cares and that she sees them as more than just fans.
Yeah.
She sees them as individuals, as people who are a part of her journey.
Yeah, and that kind of connection is priceless.
It is.
It creates this sense of community, this feeling that they're all in it together.
It's almost like they're a family supporting each other and celebrating, Rosé's successes as their own.
Absolutely. It's beautiful to see.
It really is.
And it really says a lot about the kind of person that she is.
Right. I mean, she's not just a talented musician, a fashion icon.
Yeah.
She's someone who genuinely cares about the people around her,
Yeah.
and that warmth
Wow.
and that compassion, like it radiates outward,
Totally.
and it touches the lives of millions of people around the world.
It's inspiring to see.
It is.
Makes me excited to see what the future holds for her.
Me too. I have a feeling we've only just begun to see what she's capable of.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
I mean, she's always evolving, pushing boundaries, exploring new creative avenues. I think she's going to keep surprising us.
And I can't wait to see it all unfold. Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of Rosé.
Yeah, it's been so fun. I mean, we covered her musical influences, her fashion, her advocacy work, her relationship with her fans.
And we learned that she's not just like a talented artist. She's this like multifaceted individual with a big heart and a passion for making a difference.
Absolutely. She's a true inspiration.
Yeah,
And we really hope that this deep dive gave you a better understanding of who she is and what makes her so special.
definitely. We encourage you to keep following her journey
Yeah.
as she continues to evolve and inspire.
Because I think the best is yet to come.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.